and welcome back to the Cupcake Jemma channel, and it is summer. Oh, I love summer so much, and it's not just about ice cream for me, although I am a massive fan of ice cream, obviously, because it's great. But for me, England in the summertime means berries and strawberries and meringue and cream. And if you've been watching my channel for a very long time, then you will know that Eat and Mess is my all-time favourite dessert. I've actually done an Eat and Mess recipe video before, ages and ages ago. So obviously this recipe video isn't going to be about Eat and Mess. It is going to be about the next best thing, which is a Pavlova. I love Pavlova. It's so simple, it looks amazing, and this particular Pavlova that I'm going to show you is kind of like a celebratory Pavlova because I'm going to do it in the shape of a letter. Obviously you can do it any letter you like. I'm going to do J because I want to eat the whole thing by myself, which is totally okay, right? It's mostly air. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to start by making the Pavlova, which is the meringue bit. And I'm going to make 2 layers, so we're going to sandwich it together like a cake. And I've done lots of meringues, as you know, but this one is going to be slightly different. I'm going to put vinegar in it, and that's going to give the meringue a sort of nice fluffy chewiness inside. So as usual, meringues are made with eggs and sugar, and you want to weigh your egg whites and then double that weight in sugar. So this is why you need scales. I often talk about how important they are, but this is another good reason why they're important. So I've got 6 egg whites in my bowl, and that weighed 175 grams. So I then measured 350 grams of caster sugar. So I'm going to start by putting my egg whites into my mixing bowl, which has a balloon whisk attachment. And for both the bowl and the whisk attachment, I wiped around with vinegar, just to make sure that it was grease-free, completely clean, because if it's not, then it will prevent the egg whites from whipping up. And I'm going to get that onto a medium-low speed, and then add half a teaspoon of vinegar until it starts to froth up and get sort of slightly bubbly, at which point I will turn it up a little bit. Right, so it started to go more opaque, the bubbles are smaller, it's not quite at stiff peaks yet. This is just right for putting the sugar in. So I'm going to do it spoonful by spoonful very carefully as the whisk goes round. And with all your sugar in, you then want to leave it whisking at quite a high speed. This is just right, until all the sugar has dissolved and it's lovely and glossy and stiff. Nearly there, so I'm just going to finish it off with a pinch of salt and a bit of vanilla, just half a teaspoon's fine, just a bit of flavour. That is looking really good, and it is grain-free, so it's ready. Now, both layers of my Pavlova cake are going to be white, but I do want to decorate this really nice and pretty, so I'm going to also make some little meringues in blue and pink, just to kind of pick things up a bit. So, get most of your meringue off your whisk. And then, I've got 2 bowls here, and I'm going to put a small dollop of my meringue mixture into each bowl, and they're going to be my blue and pink meringues. When you're colouring meringues, you want to make sure you're folding it rather than stirring it too much. You need to be quite gentle, so you don't knock all the air out. For my pink ones, I also want to add a little bit of more depth to the colour. So I'm also, not only am I going to put the pink meringue in the piping bag, I'm also going to paint stripes of darker pink up the inside of my piping bag, which is going to look really cool when I pipe it out. So I'm just using a paintbrush here with neat food colouring. So don't dilute it in any way, but don't put it so much on that it's just going to come out in big blobs. You just want a light stripe, or 2 or 3 or 4, up the inside of your piping bag. And once you're satisfied with the amount of pink stripage you've got going on, just go ahead and put your pink meringue into the piping bag. And then with the remaining meringue, the white meringue, go ahead and put that into a bigger piping bag with a big round nozzle on the end. So I've got all my meringues all in my piping bags, and now I need to make my 2 layers. So I have in front of me a big baking sheet, and I've drawn a big J, because that's how you spell my name, with a J, not a G, a J, everyone. And I have also laid over a piece of baking parchment over the top of that, so that I can see my J. And now I'm going to just do the outline of the J with my big piping bag and then fill in the gaps. Now, you don't have to do this, but I quite like to just ruffle it up a little bit at the same time as kind of flattening it out with a palette knife. It doesn't make too much of a difference because this is going to be kind of messy, but I just like to make sure that it's a little bit more even. Now, in your domestic kitchen, you probably won't be able to fit a gigantic baking sheet like this. We've got obviously massive baking ovens here at the bakery. So you'll probably want to put these on 2 sheets and on 2 trays, but I'm going to use all my space and put my little decoration, my pink decorations and my blue decorations around the outside. They do take less time to cook, so I'll just want to pick them off when they're ready. But I think this is, for me, this is a good use of space. But you can just leave your meringues to sit while the other guys cook if you want. That's something you can do if you don't have a gigantic oven like me. So now that all my meringue has been piped out, I'm going to get on with baking these. And I've set my oven to 90 degrees C, which is quite low. The big J's are going to need to be in the oven for 50 to 60 minutes, which is quite a long time. The little dudes, though, they need to come out after about 20 minutes. So set your timer for 20. When they're ready, they'll come off the paper really easily. So just pick them all off and put the J's back in for another, well, so if it's 20, so for another 30 to 40 minutes. And then when that time's up, turn the oven off and just leave them in there until the oven is completely cool. And it is time to assemble this brilliant Pavlova letter cake. I'm very excited. These are my favourite things all in one. I can't wait to eat this. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to share it. Oh, anyway. Cream is the next bit. Cream, meringue and berries are just the best combination. So I am using a double cream, which in some places is called heavy cream, I think. You can also use whipping cream if you like. You can even, at a push, use squirty cream if you can't be bothered with all of this stuff. But I really enjoy whipping cream, so that's why I'm doing it. So I've got 400 grams of double cream, which might be too much, I don't know. If it is, I'll just eat it, it's fine. And I've also got 30 grams of icing sugar, which I'm just gonna put straight in. And I'm going to whisk these, this time not by hand. I know you guys know that I love doing whipped cream by hand, but this is quite a lot of cream to do by hand with just a hand whisk. So I'm using this guy because I love him and he's super quick. And normally I wouldn't advocate whipping cream to a very stiff peak because I like it when it's like floppy. But because we're going to need to pipe this, I want it somewhere past floppy but before stiff. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, it should be fairly obvious when I pipe it. Anyway, here goes. So what I mean is like this, so soft peaks I suppose, and I like to finish it off by hand a bit as well so that the machine, because the machine's very powerful, so I reckon that's about right. Now I want to get this into a piping bag and I've got a round nozzle on the end so that I can pipe it neatly. So I've got all my cream in my piping bag, and actually it does look like quite a lot, but that's fine because I really enjoy eating a bit of cream. I've also got some fresh fruit. I've got some lovely British strawberries and British raspberries and some blueberries, probably not British, but you never know. English strawberries are my absolute favourite, and these are so cute. And I'm going to be sort of mixing them all up on the inside and with the cream, and I've also got some edible flowers, and then I'm going to finish it off with some lovely meringues. So here goes. Oh, I think I'm finished. I don't know if there's any more space that I can put any more fruit and flowers on, to be honest, but I am really happy with my little Pavlova cake. And hopefully you guys give it a go. If you do, make sure you take a picture and put it on your Instagram feed using the hashtag Cupcake Jemma, and that way I will definitely see it. I check them every week, and my favourites I even put on my own Instagram feed on Mega Fan Monday, so make sure you keep an eye out for your picture. And I'll be back next week if I haven't just, you know, rolled into a food Pavlova coma from eating this whole thing by myself, which is basically what I'm about to do. So, see ya. Leave me to it. I need to eat my Pavlova cake.